I knew there was a button. Okay, so all right. Hello, everybody. If you're in the parties, hello. So we are finally streaming live. So thank you guys so much for your patience. If you're on YouTube and you're watching live, and thank you so much for your patience. So my name is Jennifer Soto, and we are going to be making a brand new recipe out of our brand new season's best today. So I'm really excited about that. It was my first time to go live on YouTube. So that went well. It was my first time I had a setting set up wrong on my Facebook. So, but we're all good now. We're all good now. So I'm really excited to be here today and to be getting back to doing recipes on Tuesday nights, getting back to streaming. And if you're watching, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. You might be watching on YouTube. You might be watching on Facebook. You might be watching in a party. So go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. And this video will be around to stay, so you can watch it later. And I'll up the link, the description, to have the link to the recipe in it. So next time you do it, you can do it along with me. Now, full disclosure here, I have not made this recipe before. I think I have all the ingredients out. I think I have all the tools out. If I run off camera for a moment, that is why. I'm a little rusty, but I've been doing this for 24 years, so not that rusty. So, all right. So if you didn't know, we have a brand new catalog. It's right here. If you'd like a copy of this catalog, just send me a text with the word catalog to 719-501-2665, and I'll be happy to send you a link to the new catalog. It's very exciting, lots of great stuff in there. So let's get started. Oh, I should probably tell you a little bit about me. My name's Jennifer, and I've been with Pampered for 24 years. I live in Colorado Springs, and I've been here about 2 years. I'm a military spouse. Started my business a long time ago because I wanted everything. I now have everything, and I use the income to pay for my son's school. I paid for all my 4 kids' school, and so I'm using it to pay for my son's school. And we're getting ready to retire for the Air Force, so lots of big changes coming up and everything. So, all right. Let's go ahead and make this taco chili mac. So one of the things I'm really excited about with this recipe is that it's a 30-minute recipe. So I've done some steps ahead of time, so hopefully it won't take the whole 30 minutes. And it's a quick recipe. It's a one-pot recipe. It's something that's really easy for you to do in your kitchen with your family. So we're gonna head off and do this. So I've already preheated the oven, and we're gonna go ahead and heat some oil. It says to heat 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil in our nonstick saute pan. So I'm going to be using the new 5.5 quart nonstick saute pan from our new Brilliance cookware line. It has a nonstick coating on the inside and the outside. It's dishwasher safe. It's oven safe. Has a 10-year guarantee. It is my new favorite pan. I don't know, maybe that happens every time I get new pans, but I love it. And my husband loves it. He's the one that does the dishes, so he loves how easy it is to clean it. I'm going to move my microphone a little bit closer. So not in the screen, but still a little bit closer. So this is our oil and vinegar dispenser, and it has little measurements on the side, and I need 1 tablespoon of oil. So I just squeeze these little things on the side, and then the oil fills up to the 1 tablespoon mark, and then I can just pour that in my pan and get a good look of what a tablespoon looks like. It looks like more than it is, but I love this. It's dishwasher safe. It has a pump that pumps the oil up. It's wonderful. You can use it for oil or vinegar. So we just have canola oil in there. So we're going to go ahead and heat that pan up. Okay, and while that's heating up, we're going to go ahead and chop our veggies. Okay, and I didn't get all the ingredients out because I need to get some ingredients out. First thing, we're going to do an onion. Here's my secret trick for onion. I love it. We're going to take the knife and we're going to cut around the root. This is actually going to make it so that the onion does not smell, does not make my eyes water. Then I'm going to cut the top off. We got those right there. Then I am going to peel this. I probably should have had that done beforehand, but alas, this is real life, right? That skin is kind of thin, doesn't want to come off. Come on, come on. Okay, so trying to get that last little bit of the skin off. So that papery skin. All right, then we're gonna wedge it. We're gonna use the new veggie wedger. Give it a little rock. We've got our wedges right there. I knew I would forget something. I need my chopper. This is my manual food processor. So we're just gonna put the onion in there, and we're gonna chop it up really fine. This is important if you have kids that are picky and don't like onions and peppers in their food. If you've watched my videos at all for a while, you know my husband is allergic to onions. So we're actually going to be making half of this with onions and half of it not with onions. I'm looking for a non-retired scraper. That's what I was looking for. All right. All right, so we've got our onions in there. Now we're gonna go ahead and chop our bell pepper. This is dishwasher safe, and you guys saw how easy it was to prep that. So we're gonna chop our bell pepper, super easy. I'm just gonna cut the edges of the bell pepper off. And then I've just got this piece right there. So I'm just gonna cut these into smaller pieces, and then we'll put them in the, oops, I'll make sure we get that off. And we'll put them in the manual food processor to chop it up. I don't know what's going on today. I've been really sneezy. I did another video earlier. Sneezed during it also. All right. Manual food processor, easy to use, easy to clean, right-handed or left-handed. It's going to chop your ingredients really small. Okay. Put those in there. Dishwasher safe. This has 3 stacked blades. That's why it works so well, and they're curved as well. This is not dishwasher safe. We want to hand wash the lid because we don't want water in it. All right. So got that all mixed around. We're going to let that cook for a minute. All right. So add the onion and pepper and cook until softened, about 3 to 4 minutes. So now we're going to add our ground beef to the pan. So I'm going to switch out my cutting board just because, like I said, my husband is allergic to onions and peppers. And I'm going to rinse off this, okay? And we're going to use, I'm just going to cut this meat in half because I'm going to use half in one and then half in the other. So this is going to be the one for my husband, and then that's going to be the one for everybody, okay? So that's softened. We'll just squeeze our meat in here. Now, Eric can't have bell peppers and onions, and I did a smaller bell pepper, and well, I didn't do a smaller bell pepper, but I did a smaller onion. So I'm actually going to squeeze some garlic in his so that he does have some of that flavor, some of that, you know, Mexican-y type flavor. And then I make my own taco seasoning, so I'll be using that as well. So you guys will get a little bit of, to see a little bit of that. So I'm just going to squeeze that in here. And then I'm going to use my, mix and chop. So we have 2 different mix and chops. We've got this one and we've got this one. So this is our traditional mix and chop. Give me a thumbs up and a like if you have this one. It's perfect for chopping up our meat and things like that. We're going to use that in Eric's. And then this one has a little scooper on it. So that's kind of handy. So the handles on these new pans do get hot. So we want to make sure that we use the handle covers so we don't burn ourselves. No reason to burn yourself. All right, so that's going to cook for a moment, and we're going to add our seasoning to it. So we need a tablespoon of the seasoning. And like I said, I'm actually going to I'm going to mix this. So this is the seasoning that I make, and I'm going to put this in the allergy-friendly one. And then I'm going to use the everything taco seasoning. Ah, yummy. That'll probably make me sneeze. I did that in here. use a little extra because I did use that extra bell pepper. Oh, I put the wrong lid on here. This lid goes on here. This lid goes on here. All right, so we're going to mix that up again with our meat, with the veggies in here. We just use this mix and chop. It's so wonderful to get in here and break this meat up so nicely so you get that nice crumbly meat. Okay. I'm right-handed, so I have to flip this pan handle around. Now, if you have kids, make sure you keep those pan handles off of the off from the edge. You don't want to have those. You don't want to have any accidents like that. So, all right. So while that's cooking, we're going to cook it till it's no longer peak, and then we're going to stir in our black beans. So I've got the black beans already drained and rinsed right here. And I use the stainless steel colander for that. And then we need our tomato sauce. So we need you use 15 ounces of tomato sauce. These are 2 8-ounce things of tomato sauce, so it'll be perfectly fine. We're going to use a can opener to open. Our can opener is unique in that it goes on the top of the can, just like you saw. We twist until we get a little tug. And I mean, it's even if you have trouble with your hands, it's easy to use. Okay. And then to get it off, you just rotate it back like a quarter of a turn. And then there's a little pincher right here, and we're going to pinch the lid off. Okay. So now we have the tomato sauce that we're going to add as soon as that meat is done cooking. Okay. Stir in the black beans, tomato sauce, and beef broth. And so beef broth is right over here. We need 2.5 cups of the beef broth. So, all right. So just cooking this up. I live in Colorado. It takes a little bit longer for things to cook. So I do this a lot where I have to make 2 recipes for dinner. And it's okay. Now I should be, to make this all gluten-free, I should definitely be using gluten-free macaroni, which I'm not. And no cheese or dairy. So I'll have him take some stomach medicine beforehand. These are things that he's low allergic to. Eats them from time to time. He's been eating pretty clean, so he can have some of this stuff. Some peppers are a definite no-go, not ever. So we have this really cool new thing. This is called I don't remember what it's called. It's a utensil holder. And I can put it right here on my pan and then slide my utensil in right here, and it keeps it from falling in the pan, and it keeps the handle from getting melted. So that's pretty handy. All right, this meat is getting all ground, and I use lean ground beef. I just got some jump out of the edge. I don't want to burn myself. All right, so again, breaking this up as it cooks. So it breaks up a little bit better once it gets a little bit more cooked. All right, this looks good. I can actually start adding the ingredients to this one. So we're going to add, what did I say? Half of this. Let me rinse this off so I can spoon that. Okay, so we need half of the black beans. Okay, we'll leave these other black beans over here. Just about ready to add it to this one. So I'm using the 5.5-inch saute pan and the 10-inch skillet. Okay, so if you've got a large family, that 5.5-inch saute pan is going to be perfect for you. Okay, tomato sauce. Give it a spin. Mix that together. Oh, it smells so good. Okay. Oh, there's still some in the bottom. One of the things I like about using the can opener is I can put my spoon in here and it doesn't mess up my scraper. So black beans, broth. So I need 1 1/4 cups of broth to this. So I'm going to use the Easy Read measure cup and just measure out 1 1/4 cups of the broth. Okay. Beef broth and milk. And then we're going to use almond milk. So, okay, I can add this in here. And then add the beans. Then we'll add the broth. And I'm going to have to be careful so I don't stir it over the edge. It'll be a disaster, but live TV, so that's kind of the way that happens, right? Okay. And then, and you can use chicken, especially if you're using like ground chicken or something, you can use that as well. And then we're going to bring it to a simmer, and then we're going to stir in our pasta. So I'm going to get this good and mixed up here. You can see if I was doing the whole recipe, I definitely want to use the larger pan. This should work in the smaller pan. I think I may swap this out. I put some water on boil because I didn't read the recipe very well. And I was like, oh no, I need to make sure this water is boiling before I do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change course here because I know that I am a disaster when it comes to stuff. And I'm going to put everything in that saucepan. Okay. That way I won't be a disaster. Okay. I won't make a mess. And I can add the pasta in once it comes to a boil, a simmer. Okay, so I've added the Easy Read measure cups. Look at this. These come in a set of 4. You get a 4 cup, a 2 cup, 1 cup, and a 1/4 cup. Super handy for so many things. We also need to add some milk in here. How much milk do we need? 1 cup of milk. So we'll do 1/2 cup of milk. It says we're going to use almond milk. I prefer oat milk, but I didn't have any oat milk today. And, did it go on my list? I'm going to mix that up a little bit. Pour that one whole thing in there. Get that good and mixed. I didn't shake it up. All right, so we need 1/2 cup in each one. We don't drink a lot of regular milk, so there we go. And then we need our macaroni once it comes to a boil. So we're going to use 1/2 of this macaroni here. And I have my scale over here because I need 4 ounces of macaroni, and I really don't, because it's a recipe, I really don't want to over measure it. So I'm going to measure out 4 ounces right there. 4 ounces go in here, and we'll wait till that boils. And 4 ounces will go in there. Now, this is one of our new bowls. This is the small 2-quart plastic mixing bowl set, and it comes in a 2-quart and a 4-quart now, and then we have the 8-quart, which I love. Okay, so wonderful. All right, so we're going to stir this up. Got the milk and everything in here. This is looking a little bit like Hamburger Helper, but from scratch. And the recipe ingredients were really inexpensive. So it was $12, and it makes 6 servings. So that's $2 a serving. And again, you can make the recipe lighter by using chicken or turkey, fat-free chicken or fat-free turkey. And then it just makes it so much nicer. And if you're not eating pasta, you can, of course, use gluten-free pasta. There are some gluten-free pastas that cook up like regular pasta. I would use the Jovial brand. That tends to cook up like regular pasta. Okay, what's next on the list here? Simmer uncovered until the pasta is tender, about 10 minutes, stirring occasionally. And if the pasta doesn't get tender, we add some more beef broth. Okay. And then meanwhile, we're going to do we're going to prep the toppings. Okay. So let's get this in here so we can get it going. I'm actually going to stick it on the back burner because it's a little bit of a bigger burner. You probably have a little more luck over there. And that's cooking. I'm going to take this down a little bit because it's going to simmer. Okay. So while that's simmering, let's go ahead and get this ready. So we need to grate our cheese. We need 8 ounces of cheese. So we're going to use the adjustable coarse grater. And we have a food holder for the adjustable coarse grater. I'm not really adept at using the food holder. I'm used to just grating it with my hands, but I will go ahead and show you guys how to use the food holder. Okay. All right, that's a little bit big. So get this, we're just going to stick these in here, and I'm going to get them down a little bit further so I can use the other holder. But you can see how easy this is to grate cheese. Like my dog is over here going, "What you grating over there?" Okay, your hands are protected. You can grate directly into a bowl if you wanted to. I could lay this across. Let me put this in here. And actually grate directly into this bowl. And then I'm not having to move it off the edge here. Okay. So get that. But I will tell you, I do love to just grate by with my hands without the food holder. I find I'm looking at it. Notice I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. I find that I'm able to control it a little bit better and get down to the bottom. But you do whatever works. And if you're prone to cutting your fingers, which I have cut my fingers before, don't do this. Okay, just put those chunks in there. It's okay if the chunks are in there. Okay, you can eat those chunks if you want to. So we need 8 ounces of fresh cheese. So this goes in the dishwasher. Super easy to clean. I love that about it. But look at all that cheese. So 8 ounces of cheese is 2 cups of cheese. But if you're pouring out 2 cups of cheese from the grated cheese that comes in a bag, you're probably going to have a little bit more because it gets compressed. But the other thing about it is that I bought grated cheese out of a bag the other day, and I just couldn't even stand it to eat it because it was so like powdery and gross, and I didn't like it. This cheese has so much more flavor. I'm supposed to use cheddar cheese. I use Colby Jack cheese because that's the kind of cheese I like. It's a milder cheese. So we've got that right there. The next thing we need to do is crush some tortilla chips. So I need to grab those. We're going to use some tortilla chips from Chili's because that's my favorite. We just need 2 cups. That's about right here. And I'm just going to crush them in the bag. Okay. I could use a rolling pin if I wanted to. But we love Chili's chips, so that'll be a treat to have that right on the top. Okay. And 2 teaspoons of the seasoning. Combine the crushed tortilla chips, a cup of the cheese, and 2 teaspoons of the seasoning and set aside. So I'm actually going to do this. Let me use the large bowl right here, or the large mixing cup. And I'm just going to use, I'm not going to use the everything taco seasoning. I'm actually going to use my seasoning right here so that I can make it in one group. So it needs 2 teaspoons, okay, of the seasoning. Actually, yep, I'm going to do that because I already started. Okay, so mix that together. Crushed tortilla chips, 1 cup of the cheese, and 2 teaspoons of the seasoning. Okay, we got that mixed together, and then we need a cup of the cheese. So about half of the cheese. Mix that together, and then we'll be able to. I'm going to give this a stir right here. Watching how that's coming along. I have spoon holders, but I'm not using any of them. All right, so we'll go ahead and mix this up. This is going to be the topping. This way it'll just be easier for me to sprinkle half on one and half on the other rather than having two. So I often do that. But I tell you what, that everything taco seasoning, I might, after I mix pour Eric's on top of his, I might go ahead and mix it together on mine. All right, so that topping is ready. And then we need to mix the sour cream, milk, and remaining teaspoon of the seasoning and set it to the side. So we need how much sour cream? We need a 1/4 cup of sour cream and a tablespoon of milk. Okay, go ahead and use this. This doesn't have to be exact, and that's okay. A teaspoon of the seasoning. All right, and then a tablespoon of milk. Where did my milk go? Give it another shake in case it's settled. I know it seems kind of weird to mix regular sour cream with almond milk, but that's what we're doing. And we're just going to mix that together. One of the things I love about, and then I'm going to teach you guys another cool trick with this. Okay, so all right, so we're going to make this squeezable. We're just going to take a small mixing cup and we're going to put a sandwich bag in here, and then we're just going to spoon this in here. And this is so perfect to do sour cream for tacos or for anything. Mix that up really good. Make sure I got that mixed up. I'm going to take it, I'm going to give it a little twist, and then when it comes time, we'll cut off the end and and it will be able to squeeze out. So super nice. All right, so I think that's about it. Oh, cilantro leaves. That's another thing we need to do. So we'll just set this right here while we're waiting on that. Put all my dirty stuff down here. Get that mess out of the way. All right, so the last thing we need to do is our cilantro. So I went ahead and washed my cilantro already. And we've got some leaves here. And we're just going to take the shears and cut those off and put them into the prep bowl. And so then we'll turn our shears upside down and we'll snip. This is so good to do with any herb because what it does is it takes the herb and doesn't press out the oil onto the cutting board. Like if you're doing it on the cutting board, then it's going to press out the oil onto the cutting board. So we've got our herbs right there. So everything is ready to go. If you wanted to add tomatoes, fresh tomatoes to the top of this, or you wanted to add some, I don't know, whatever else you wanted to add on here, you could totally do that. Okay, so this is looking good. I don't know how long it's been, but I'm going to test one of these little guys right here. They're not ready. They don't look ready. In the back, they look a little more ready. Colorado takes a long time for things to cook. So we've got our mixture of the sour cream. So once the pasta is cooked, we're going to take the remaining cheese and mix it in. And I've kind of got it divided here. And so it'll melt and go throughout. And then right before it's serving, we'll put the topping on it, and then we're going to cook it in the oven for 6 to 8 minutes, and then we'll serve it. So that's pretty much it. I'll post a picture of the finished, what's it called? The finished recipe, and that'll be good to go. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and checking out the recipe with me. And join me every Tuesday. I'll be live every Tuesday to make a new recipe. scour the Pampered Chef website. Let me know what you'd like to see. Maybe you'll see it on a Tuesday. And if you're in a party or you're hosting a party, then I'm always going to go live in your party on Tuesday at 5 p.m. All right. So like, share, follow, all the things, and I'll talk with you soon.